You don't get exposed. When you fail, you get exposed. When you lose control. Weakness isn't the problem. Lack of control is. Everyone has fear, doubt, insecurity, but most people let it show at the worst possible moments. And the moment people see that, they stop trusting you, stop respecting you, and start controlling you. The harsh truth is this: people don't attack strength, they wait for weakness. They watch how you react under pressure, how you respond when things go wrong, how you carry yourself when no one is supporting you. And in those moments, your real level is revealed. Not your words, not your intentions, your control. Weak people try to hide their flaws. Strong people master them, because once you learn to control what you feel, what you say, and how you react, no one can use you against yourself. In this video, you're going to understand how to master your weakness before it exposes you, how to stay composed under pressure, and how to build a level of control that most people never reach. Stay till the end, because once you see this clearly, you won't react the same way again. Like this video, subscribe, and let's get into it. The first thing you need to understand is this: weakness doesn't show up randomly. It shows up under pressure. When everything is going your way, anyone can look confident, anyone can look calm, anyone can look strong. But the real test starts when things don't go your way. When someone challenges you, disrespects you, ignores you, or pushes you emotionally, that's when your control gets tested. And most people fail right there. They react without thinking. They speak without control. They let their emotions take over. And in that moment, they reveal more about themselves than they ever intended. Now think about your own life. How many times have you said something in anger and later regretted it? How many times have you reacted emotionally and wished you stayed calm? That's not because you're weak. It's because you're untrained. Control is a skill, and like any skill, if you don't practice it, you won't have it when it matters the most. If this is hitting you, like this video and subscribe, because this is where real self-control begins. Here's another truth: people don't respect perfection. They respect control. You don't have to be perfect to be respected. You just need to be controlled. You can have flaws, you can have emotions, you can have insecurities, but if you don't let them control your actions, people will see strength in you. Because control shows discipline. Control shows awareness. Control shows power. Most people try to eliminate weakness. That's impossible. You're human. You will feel things. You will have doubts. You will get triggered. The goal is not to remove weakness. The goal is to manage it, to understand it, to control it before it controls you. That's the difference between someone who grows and someone who stays stuck. Now here's where it gets deeper. Your reactions are predictable patterns. If someone knows what triggers you, they can control you. It's that simple. If they know you get angry when disrespected, they will use disrespect against you. If they know you seek validation, they will control you with approval and rejection. If they know you overthink, they will confuse you easily. Your weakness becomes their weapon. If you're still watching, like this video and subscribe, because this is something most people never realize. Strong people break this pattern. They don't react instantly. They pause. They observe. They choose how to respond. That pause is power. That moment of control is what separates you from everyone else. Because in that moment, you are no longer predictable. And when you're not predictable, you're not controllable. Another important point: silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. When you don't react immediately, you create space. You give yourself time to think. You avoid saying something you'll regret. And more importantly, you confuse the other person, because they expect a reaction. When they don't get it, they lose control of the situation. If this is making sense, like this video and subscribe, because you're starting to understand real power. Now let's talk about emotional discipline. This is where most people struggle. They think control means suppressing everything. That's wrong. Suppression leads to explosion. Real control means awareness. You notice what you feel, but you don't let it decide your actions. You feel anger, but you don't act on it immediately. You feel insecurity, but you don't let it change your behavior. You feel pressure, but you stay composed. That's discipline. And this takes practice. You won't master this overnight. You'll fail sometimes. You'll react when you shouldn't. But every time you become aware of it, you get better. Every time you pause instead of reacting, you build strength. Over time, it becomes natural. Another thing you need to accept: not every situation deserves your reaction. This is where most people waste their energy. They respond to everything, every comment, every opinion, every small trigger, and slowly, they drain themselves. Strong people don't do that. They choose what deserves their attention. They ignore what doesn't matter, because they understand that attention is limited, and where you put your attention decides your life. If you're getting value from this, like this video and subscribe, because this mindset will change how you handle every situation. Now here's something practical you can start doing today. The next time you feel triggered, don't respond immediately. Take a breath. Count to 5. Let that initial emotional wave pass. Then respond calmly. This simple habit will change everything, because most mistakes happen in the first few seconds of reaction. Control those seconds, and you control the outcome. Now here's something even deeper. Most people don't even know what their real weaknesses are. They think their weakness is failure, or lack of skill, or lack of opportunity. But the real weakness is how they respond when things don't go their way. Do you get angry? Do you shut down? Do you start overthinking? Do you seek validation? That reaction pattern is your real weakness. And until you become aware of it, you will keep repeating it again and again. If this is opening your eyes, like this video and subscribe, because this is where real awareness begins. Strong people study themselves. They pay attention to what triggers them. They notice what makes them lose control. They don't ignore it. They don't run from it. They face it. Because you can't control something you don't understand. The moment you start observing your patterns, you start breaking them. And once you break those patterns, you become unpredictable. And when you become unpredictable, no one can easily control you anymore. Another truth is this: your environment plays a huge role. If you surround yourself with people who constantly trigger you, disrespect you, or drain your energy, your weakness will keep showing up, not because you're weak, but because you're constantly being pulled into situations that test your control. Strong people don't just work on themselves, they also control their environment. They limit access to people who bring out the worst in them. They protect their peace. They choose their circle carefully. If this is making sense, like this video and subscribe, because this is how you start taking control of your life. Now let's talk about presence. When you master your weakness, your presence changes. You don't need to say much. You don't need to prove anything. People can feel it. They can feel your calmness, your control, your confidence. And that presence alone creates respect. Not forced respect, not loud respect, but natural respect. The kind that comes without asking. Most people try to look strong. They try to act confident, but it doesn't work because it's fake. Real strength is quiet. Real confidence is control. It shows in how you respond, not in how you try to impress. And people can always tell the difference. Another powerful shift happens when you stop fearing exposure. Most people are afraid that their weakness will be seen. They try to hide it, cover it, avoid situations where it might show. But that fear makes them even weaker. Strong people don't fear exposure. They prepare for it. They work on themselves so that even if they are tested, they don't break. That's the difference. If you're still watching, like this video and subscribe, because you're building a mindset that most people never develop. Now understand this clearly. Mastering your weakness doesn't mean you become emotionless. It means you become stable. You feel everything, but you're not controlled by anything. You stay grounded no matter what's happening around you. And that stability is what gives you an edge in every situation. Whether it's work, relationships, or personal growth, the person who stays composed always has the advantage. So start small. Start paying attention to your reactions. Start creating that pause. Start choosing your response instead of reacting automatically. It won't be perfect in the beginning, but it will improve. And over time, you'll notice something powerful. The same situations that used to shake you won't affect you anymore. The same people who used to trigger you won't have that power anymore. And that's when you'll realize you're no longer easy to break. Because at the end of the day, it's not about hiding your weakness. It's about mastering it before it masters you. And here's the part most people completely ignore. Control is built in small moments, not big ones. It's easy to say you'll stay calm in a serious situation, but the real training happens in everyday life, in small irritations, small disagreements, small delays, small frustrations. If you can't control yourself in those moments, you won't control yourself when it actually matters. That's why strong people treat every situation like practice. Every trigger is an opportunity. Every reaction is a choice. If this is hitting you, like this video and subscribe, because this is how discipline is built in real life. Another truth is this: people will test you, sometimes intentionally, sometimes without even realizing it. They'll push your boundaries, question your decisions, try to get a reaction out of you, not always because they hate you, but because they're used to people reacting. And when you don't react the way they expect, everything changes. They pause, they rethink, they adjust, because now they realize you're not easy to control. And this is where your power starts becoming visible. Not when you speak more, but when you react less. Not when you prove yourself, but when you stay composed. Because calmness under pressure is rare, and rare things get respected. Another important shift you need to make is this: stop trying to win every moment. Most people think strength means winning arguments, proving points, dominating conversations. But real strength is knowing what to ignore. Real strength is knowing when something is not worth your time, because every reaction costs energy, and if you waste that energy on things that don't matter, you'll have nothing left for things that do. If you're getting value from this, like this video and subscribe, because this mindset will change how you approach life. Now understand this clearly: once you master your weakness, your life becomes simpler. You stop overthinking. You stop reacting to everything. You stop getting pulled into unnecessary drama. You become focused. You become clear. And that clarity allows you to move faster, make better decisions, and stay consistent. People might not understand it at first. They might think you've changed. They might think you've become distant or different. But what actually happened is simple. You stopped being controlled. You stopped reacting to everything. You stopped giving your energy away. And that's something most people never do. And here's the truth: once you reach that level, you can't go back, because you start seeing things differently. You start noticing how people react, how easily they get triggered, how quickly they lose control. And you realize that used to be you, but not anymore. So from this moment, remember this: your weakness is not your enemy. Your lack of control is. Work on that. Train that. Build that. Because once you control your reactions, your emotions, and your behavior, you become someone who is hard to manipulate, hard to break, and hard to replace. And that's the level you should aim for. And here's the final truth you need to lock in: your life doesn't change when things around you change. It changes when your response changes. The world will stay the same. People will still test you. Situations will still pressure you. Problems will still come. But if your reactions are different, your outcomes will be different. That's where real power comes from. Most people wait for life to get easier. Strong people get stronger. They don't rely on better situations. They build better control. Because when you have control, you don't need perfect conditions. You can handle anything. If this is making sense, like this video and subscribe, because this is how real strength is built. Now think about the person you're becoming. Someone who doesn't get triggered easily. Someone who doesn't react without thinking. Someone who doesn't let emotions control their decisions. That version of you moves differently, speaks differently, lives differently, and because of that, gets different results. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove it. People will see it. They will feel it. And slowly, without you saying anything, your respect will increase. Your presence will become stronger. And your influence will grow. But it all starts with one simple decision: to stop reacting the same way you always have. To pause. To think. To choose. That's it. Do that consistently, and everything changes. Because in the end, the person who controls themselves controls their life. If this video called you out, don't just scroll past it. Prove you're different. Hit like right now, because that's your first signal that you're done reacting the same way. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because this channel is for people who are serious about control, not comfort. Now do this. Go to the comments and type, "I master myself." Not for me, for you, because once you write it, you're making a public commitment. And people who commit publicly are the ones who actually change. And one more thing: don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with someone who loses control too easily. Someone who needs to hear this, because real growth spreads. Watch the next video on your screen right now, because mastering your weakness is just step one. Becoming unstoppable starts next.